Hey guys, what is up? It's Hunter, and this is going to be a really cool video. Both of these tables are full of StoxPoker members. I I got this idea a few weeks ago from someone who posted in the forums with this suggestion for the video, and I thought it was a great idea, so I wanted to make it happen. I picked 50-cent dollar just because I thought it was a level at which the whole game wouldn't turn into a total spew fest, but it would also allow a lot of members to join in if they wanted to. So that was kind of why I picked this limit. Forgive me, my holder manager has decided to reset my layout every single time I reset it, so I just have to position this stuff real fast, and then we are going to be good to go. Okay, easy fold with 2-4. Easy fold with 4-5, obviously against a 3-bet. Let me move this over real fast. I wish I'd started. I forgot Holder Manager was doing this. I would have done this before the video. Okay, so let me try to show everybody. Sorry about that. Who everybody is. I have their screen names from the thread I made. Another easy pitch. I don't know how to pronounce this particular screen name, but this is Leather2, who's on the right table. This is Zach Vac, same name. Right Nuts is And the River Is. What else we got here? Dexter is Lyle Lovett. And Dangerfish is Dangerfish. He's got the same name. And Store Stark has the same name. Oh, okay, no problem. I think we had been sitting out waiting for anyone else who wanted to show up that they wanted to. And looks like we're okay. All right. Yeah, when you sit out for some reason full tilt, even if everybody's sitting out, sometimes it'll take your seat from you, which is completely annoying. But okay, I'm gonna open up Ace-8 on the button, and I fold it over here. Okay, I'm gonna open up. If it's folded to me, I'm gonna open this up as well. One thing to keep in mind, and I think it's gonna be a really fun video to play in. I'm probably at a disadvantage here because everybody knows my game and I don't know everyone else's game quite as well. So I'm hoping that. Okay, I'm just gonna pitch it. That's a huge 3-bet, and until that's just not a hand that's not gonna play well. Post flop Ace-8, it's just gonna. It runs into serious domination issues, and I'm not gonna try to play that hand, Ace-8 offsuit specifically. I'm not gonna try to play it in a 3-bet pot against a confident player. That's just not something you want to do. My game plan here is not to do anything too crazy right off the bat. This is going to be a 2-part video, so it's going to be a decent session.
Hey everybody, this is Pokey. I am starting up my first video in my new series called Art, Science, and Poker. The basic idea behind this series is that we hear a lot about the science of poker. We hear a lot about the numbers, the VPIP and pre-flop raise, and what percentage of the time does this guy check raise on the turn. We get bombarded with numbers when we're looking at online poker. And that's all the science stuff, but what's often missing is the art. Okay, now we know this person's numbers, we know this person's stats. What can we do with it? And the goal of this series is going to be to take a look at how we can take the numbers that we are given and turn them into a practical approach at the tables. The first episode is all about reads. This is how we assess our opponents and how we deal with the specific opponents that we are faced with when we're at the tables. In general, in this particular episode, we're going to look at the 4 cardinal types of opponents that you can face. The so-called calling stations, the maniacs, the nits, and finally the tags. So let's go ahead and get started. Calling stations are first on the list because calling stations are your bread and butter. These are the people that are the juiciest targets at the table for most of the winning small stakes players. They tend to be loose and passive. They tend to be very profitable because they are unable to get value out of their hands, but at the same time, they're willing to give you value on your hands. As to how we take advantage of calling stations, it's really, really easy. You bet your hand. Calling stations are the number one target you should be aiming at, not because they've got more money or even necessarily because they're worse players, but just because they will let you lead the dance. You get to play the game your way, and that means you get to make a big pot when you want a big pot, and you get to leave the pot small when you want it small. This is all to your advantage.
Hey everyone, this is Bryce Parody for StoxPoker.com, and today we're going to be looking at a university video for raising for showdown in Limit Hold'em. For those who don't know, raising for showdown in Limit Hold'em is when you raise the turn when you have position on the players who are left in the pot, intending to check behind in the river and not putting any bets in on that street. And this is probably one of the most misunderstood and misapplied concepts in Limit Hold'em. It's probably right up there with protecting your hand, where a lot of people are aware what this play is, but a lot of people aren't entirely sure when to use it, why they should use it, and what they should hope to gain by using it. So we're going to go over a couple examples in this video of when you should be doing this, when you shouldn't be doing it, and hopefully get that cleared up for you. So this video has been divided into 3 parts. The first part is when we're going to go over when not to raise for showdown. In the second part, we'll review when you want to raise for showdown when you're heads up, so it's only you and one other player in the pot. And the third segment that we'll go over is when you should be raising for showdown in multi-way pots when there are several players left to act behind you. So here's some reasons why you shouldn't raise for showdown. One of the first reasons is you shouldn't do it because it's free. A sort of misnomer that goes along with this particular bit of strategy is a lot of people will call it raising for a free showdown because they don't put any bets in on the river. But it's important to remember that, of course, this isn't free. You're still putting 2 bets into the pot. And so raising for showdown is actually something that is potentially very expensive, because while you are still putting 2 bets in the pot, you now have the option of being put in a bad situation where your opponent might re-raise and either force you to put in many more bets calling down, or if you fold, you're going to give up some equity in the pot. Sometimes you might be drawing dead and have no equity, but a lot of the times you might have something like 2 or 3 outs where even if you don't want to call, you still do give up a portion of the pot by folding. And so again, it's kind of a misnomer, something that's really misunderstood, in that raising for a free showdown is something that is potentially expensive. It's not something that's cheap for you. It's actually something that can have some very strong repercussions. The other reason that you shouldn't be raising for a free showdown is for no particular reason. And it sounds kind of silly to say that, but I've known a lot of really good poker players who will raise for showdown in situations where it just doesn't make any sense. And if you ask them why they're doing it, you won't really get a good answer. And so it's very important to remember that when you're playing poker, you don't want to just choose your actions sort of just because. You always want to have a very clear idea of what you're trying to accomplish with any given play. And we'll go into some greater detail on why you might want to raise for showdown some of the time and what you should be trying to accomplish with this sort of play.